Hey, this is Lawrence Watkins here with Al Duncan, and we're back with you once again for our next great pro speaking tip. So, Al, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about response time today. Now, the reason we're talking about that, of course, is because the other day you rolled out a new feature on Great Black Speakers, which you were talking to me about, and I couldn't remember the name you were using. What was the name you were calling
Yeah,
it
so the
again?
name that I was using was called Instant Check Availability.
Okay,
Uh,
right.
so
So
I think the new name sounds a lot better. Lightning response, right?
right, yeah, because you said it was going to be a lightning bolt next to the speaker's profile. So for some reason, I just kept thinking, okay, it's lightning response, lightning response. So
Yeah.
as you and I were talking about the feature, we started realizing it's a small and subtle thing, but a lot of speakers overlook it and don't realize they're losing a lot of revenue, losing a lot of gigs based on their response time. So we just wanted to go over a few things real quick, talk about lightning response, why it's important, and some few things that you can do to increase your response times.
Yeah, most definitely. And, I found it to be very important within Great Black Speakers as a bureau.
Hmm.
I can't tell you how many deals have been won and have been lost because we weren't responding as quickly as we should. With the purpose of Lightning Response is to be the first speaker out there or the first bureau out there showing the end customer that they are a priority for us. And we'll get into all of these points at a little later point in this broadcast. But
Yeah.
that's the purpose, and it's something so small that has definitely changed the course of Great Black Speakers and the type of revenue, the amount of conversions that we're able to bring in.
Yeah. And so we're using lightning response. It's good branding. Okay, first
Yeah.
of all, so we want to follow the rules of good professional speaking, which is have a strong brand for any of the terms that you use. So we like
Mhm.
lightning response. And we use that term to summarize our methodology and our philosophy about response times. And it's as simply this: eliminate the competition and lock down the gig. That's what we want to do. Okay.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
and unfortunately, we feel like response time is often undervalued. So let's talk about a few reasons that response time is vital to your success as a professional speaker.
Yeah, and the first thing that you mentioned before is creating that competitive advantage,
Yeah.
right? So GBS has taken it a step further in the sense that or really I, spent about 80 hours of coding, coding
Oh my
work,
God. Okay.
trying to create this automated system out here.
Right.
And with the I guess automated system, I wanted to be as soon as an organization or event organizer contacts Great Black Speakers,
Hmm.
and automated email is sent out to the speaker
Okay.
for them to tell the organizer what days they are available and at what price point they're willing to do the gig for.
Hmm.
Right. So we're
Yeah.
just trying to rapidly, I guess, speed this process up because what we were finding is when we were waiting, 6 hours or 8 hours or whatever to
Yeah.
get back to the event organizer, they might have been looking for speakers on three or four different bureaus. Um,
Okay.
so,
Right.
so when they're doing that and we're late to the party, it shows that they might be wanting to make a decision really quickly.
Right.
But even more than that, they want to know that they're a priority, and that they can trust you. So yeah.
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is that competition is fierce. And if you
Hmm.
don't get to the client quickly, somebody else will, another bureau or another speaker.
Exactly.
Okay.
Competition is as fierce as it has ever been.
Right.
And some of my inspirations for building out this product come from the tech startup world, actually.
Okay.
So you have things like Uber, you have things like Airbnb, which I'm using right now. So I'm in here in Medellin using Airbnb, and
Okay.
when you go through these processes of these online web applications, you
Right.
see how quickly each party responds to each other to get the business done, versus
Okay.
having to go through some type of other agent in the old days where booking an apartment for a month might have taken like a week to happen, when
Right.
now it can definitely be done within less than 24 hours.
I agree. This is just a side note, Lawrence, in case somebody doesn't know. You said you're in Medellin,
Oh yeah, I mean
And
Medellin,
everybody that
Colombia.
know where that is, you traveling all around the
Yeah.
world. Where is that, man?
Yeah, so Medellin, Colombia, or it's in the in Colombia. So a lot of people equated with Pablo Escobar, uh,
Okay.
the Ochoa brothers and Narcos and all that type of stuff. However, it's really changed a lot over the last 25 years. So it's a great place to live if you
Hmm.
like, temperate climates. So every day the high temperature is about 79 degrees and the low
Okay.
temperature is about 65 degrees every day.
Yeah.
And it's pretty inexpensive compared to most cities in the United States. And the people are very friendly here, simpatico or amigable, or however you want to say it in Spanish. The people are
Okay.
really, really friendly and nice here. So check out Medellin, Colombia.
Cool.
Um,
That's awesome, man.
yeah, if you want a vacation.
And see, now that's a side note. It has nothing to do with this video, but that's
Yeah,
another perk to being a professional speaker or a part of the professional speaking industry. Look at that. You get to travel around the world, get paid. I call them paycations,
yeah, vacation.
right. You can go all over the place now.
Right,
So
right.
but back to our response time. For me, so I got a lot of hobbies I have. One in particular that I love, been doing for nearly 20 years now, is martial arts. So I love
Mm,
MMA, all combat sports, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu. I have 2 black belts. And there's a phrase that we use in combat sports, and that is speed kills.
mm,
Okay. And timing is everything. So if you have good speed and you have excellent timing, you can often beat a stronger, more experienced, better prepared opponent. Well, not to say better prepared, but better opponent, or some opponent that seems better on paper. And
mm,
it actually works the same way in professional speaking. I remember when I got my first $10,000 gig. Okay, I had been speaking for quite a few years, and I was moving along making $2,500 to $5,000 a year. I had never entertained being able to make $10,000 for an hour keynote or a 90-minute keynote. But I was sitting at my desk one day, and an email came through. I saw the email, said we're looking for a speaker for a youth conference. Now I was sitting there, and at that point, I was still wrestling with something that a lot of speakers wrestle with, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a second. But I was trying to debate: do I call, or do I send the email, or do I get somebody else to send the email on my behalf, a virtual assistant? Should I get my wife to send the email? And for whatever reason, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call right now. So what happened is, within 2 minutes of me receiving the email, I had actually got my thoughts together, jotted down what I wanted to say, and I called this woman on the phone, event planner. So she gets on the phone, and I'm asking questions about the gig and what's going on. And her initial response was, "Oh my God, I can't believe you called me. I didn't expect to speak to you so quickly, like so
yeah.
soon." So she was already excited, just being able to get me on the phone. And I was surprised. I said, "Well, why is it so surprising that I'm on the phone?" She said, "Because I've been talking to other speakers or trying to get in contact with them." She said, "I've been trying to get in contact with a few other celebrities. I think she said Judge Mathis at the time, Tavis, Les Brown, a few other ones." And she obviously was talking to their assistants, or she hadn't heard back from them yet. And so she was pleasantly surprised that I was the first speaker to actually call her and talk to her.
Mhm.
So what happened is, I got a lot of information from that. So here I am, quick response, talk to her. She's excited already, but instantly she told me the speakers that she was thinking about bringing in to speak, and I got a price range because I did my homework. I know what those particular speakers charge. They're all much bigger names than me, so I know if she's looking at those type of speakers, she must have a big budget. So when we got around to asking about the price, I very calmly said $10,000. And she was happy because that's a bargain compared
Yeah,
to the names that I just mentioned.
right.
So within a short amount of time, I showed her how I listen. If you bring me in, I specialize in the youth market. That's not to knock any of the other speakers, but this is where I specialize. Are you going to get an interactive, engaging platform and a program? I can deal with them for more than 1 hour. Okay, and so you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So within about 10 minutes, and and then 15 minutes later after that, I had a signed contract, my first $10,000 gig. And I don't think I would have gotten that if I didn't have that lightning response.
Right, right. Yeah, that's awesome. And you hear this story over and over and over again. I have my own stories with
Okay.
regards to like responding quickly and how much of a competitive advantage that it is. Because I noticed for a while there with Great Black Speakers, and it's something that we're definitely trying to improve within our organization.
Hmm.
That in general, our response time was declining. The other sales agents were getting busy doing other things. They might not be near their computer or
Right.
whatever it may be. So for a little bit of time, I decided to, I guess, come back into the fold, which I'm still
Okay.
kind of in the fold of handling our own gigs and everything. And I made it a point to, any gig that I claimed or any potential lead that I claimed, within our CRM, our customer relationship management system,
Yeah.
I will respond to that person within 10 minutes of receiving their inquiry.
Okay.
And don't you know? So out of the 11 gigs that I have, or the 11 leads that I have received over the past, just for me over the past few weeks,
Hmm.
I've been able to close 8 of them.
8.
And 8 of them, yeah.
Okay. Wow, man.
And yeah,
That's
so
72%, bro.
yeah, right, right, right.
72% close rate. That's pretty
Yeah,
good, you know.
yeah. So, um, and the reason being is uh, people expect such a higher level of responsiveness nowadays,
Right.
and the speaking industry is very, very behind, especially when you talk about individual speakers, with regards to getting back to a person really quickly.
Hmm.
So that's probably the one of the biggest competitive advantages that are out there right now. You
Okay.
know, they're your first lines of defenses too. I
Hmm.
think with being a speaker, like having a great brand,
Right.
having a great message, those types of things.
Yeah.
Uh, but and what that would do nowadays is cause an individual, like an event organizer, to wait for you just a little bit longer if you are a
Yes.
perfect fit for them.
Right.
However, if you still take too long to get back to them,
Hmm.
um, if you still take too long to get back to them, they still will go on to the next speaker.
Yes, they will.
And then that doesn't even include all of the things that you may not be a perfect fit for, but you can still win their business based on your speed alone.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So even in the early stages, so we launched instant check availability to
Okay.
where instead of me doing the manual process of calling the person right away,
Hmm.
um, as soon as a event organizer clicks they want to check availability of certain speakers on our website, an
Okay.
email is sent to that speaker immediately, and then we've been getting responses back from that speaker within the hour. So
Wow. Okay.
it moved really quickly, and we've already booked one engagement, and the second engagement should be wrapping up today. All right. And we just launched this feature at the beginning of the week on a very, very limited scale. So only about 15 profiles on the GBS site actually have this feature associated with it.
Okay.
And it just shows you the progression of, the Bureau in terms of where we're headed, but then it
Yeah.
just shows you the progression of where the industry is headed in general.
I agree. And so the bottom line to all of this is that lightning response will get you paid.
Mhm.
Basically, that's what
Mhm.
we're saying. If you want to increase your gigs and get them faster, you just got to respond faster, and you'll be surprised at how much that can help you out. Another reason that it's important is because it makes the client initially very impressed with
Mhm.
your services.
Mhm.
Everybody has the experience of calling up to some place where you need to talk to somebody very quickly in a hurry. Usually it's when you're calling about a utility, cable bill, utility bill, something like that, or you need to call up to your son or daughter's school and
Mhm.
you need to get somebody on the phone. And you get this long wait time, it drives you nuts. And so whenever I call a company and I get somebody on the phone quickly, I'm normally I'm surprised, but I'm also very happy. And I think it works
Mhm.
the same way with professional speaking.
Yeah, so that initial impression, they always say. I mean, I know it's an old cliche, but the first impression is the lasting impression.
Yeah, that's true though.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you only have one time to make a good first impression. So another cliche. So I'm clicheing it out today, but
That's all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's true though. You can make that good first impression and um, making the client happy.
Yeah, and that's part of your brand.
Yeah, yeah, and I think also what goes along with that good first impression is like building that trust and
Hmm.
like establishing that reliability. Um,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because there's nothing worse than an unreliable speaker.
It's
I've gone
terrible.
through it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And we have some speakers who have really good names, but who can be unreliable. And I know from my perspective, it's challenging for me to want to work with them because you
Yeah,
don't know if they're going to show up on time for the event. You know how much they're going to stress you out before the event, getting travel details or whatever else
right.
it may be. But that's how I feel as the bureau. Imagine how the client feels. You know, they're the ones who actually have their necks on the line, you know, to have a successful event so they can continue to get funding for that same event in the future.
Right. You know, that's because if you look at the expense, the expenses of putting on the event. Now, when I look at how expensive it is and what their largest expenses are, if they have to secure a location, in other words, it's not at a school where it's a free event, or it's not at
Right.
the university where it's a, where they can just host the event for free. A lot of times, renting the facility is very expensive. The
Mm-hmm.
food is expensive, and
Mm-hmm.
the speakers are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the food, okay, and you don't have the speaker, these are two major catastrophes for an event.
Right.
If you look at, if you're the meeting planner or the event planner and you're waiting on a speaker you haven't heard from him or her in a while, because lightning response is not just your initial response, it's your ongoing response when the
Mm-hmm.
meeting planner is trying to ask you questions about the gig or where you're going to be, and did you sign a contract, or have you gotten information, do you have books, things of this nature. They need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very nerve-wracking for an event planner not to hear from a speaker in a good amount of time, and it does make you look very unreliable, and it violates one of the fundamental laws of selling. Everybody knows if you're in sales, and that is people buy from you because they know you, like you, and trust you. So
Right.
if I can't trust you just in a response, how can I trust you to show up and actually speak and be where you're supposed to be on time?
Right. Right. And yeah, I 100% agree with that. And it kind of leads me to the next point in terms of, you know, sales strategies. And there's different people, and we'll talk about this in the misconceptions aspect. But
Okay.
I think things are changing, but it's so important now to make your client feel like they are a high priority for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the
Before them.
standard. That's the standard. Dale Carnegie been saying that for 100 years. You
Mm-hmm.
should treat everybody that you come in contact with like they're the most important person in the world, because to them they are. Okay, to him or her, he or she is the most important person in the world, and that event is very important for him or her, and therefore you should treat them as if you're my most important client. Everybody's my most important client. I don't care. I treat somebody who's paying $1,000 for a gig that's 5 minutes away from my house the same way, with the same level of priority as I would treat someone who's paying me $10,000 to come speak, or paying me $25,000 to come speak and stay there to do multiple events for the whole week. They
Mm-hmm.
get treated the same. Uh, they get treated like, when I'm on the phone with you, you're important to me. Getting back to you is extremely important to me. You will hear from me, or you will hear from somebody who represents me, and you will hear from them in a timely fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to happen.
It does. And, I want to jump around here and talk about that misconception a,
Okay.
a little bit more and talk about how a lot of people think that if I respond too quickly,
Oh,
it means that I'm not a big time speaker, or I'm
yeah.
not working on doing something else or something like that. And that might have had some truth back in the day when the rest of the world, never really expected that quick of a response. But
Right.
today in this on-demand economy, and I think that's how things are changing.
Right.
I look at myself when I use different apps and how upset that I get if someone doesn't respond back in 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
Or respond back, that quick, especially if I'm using some type of automated app like Uber, like Instacart, like Airbnb or whatever else that I use.
Hmm.
So the world has changed, especially when you start dealing or start working with younger and younger people,
Yes.
because that is what they have grown to be accustomed to. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And so as older individuals start retiring and not being in the workforce as much anymore, you're going to get more and more of this in terms of the responsiveness piece. Um,
Yes.
so I think that establishing that trust, establishing what else did we say? So establishing the trust, establishing like making the client a priority
Yeah.
has become more of a determining factor in your success, more than trying to big ball a customer and making it
Exactly.
away. Hmm.
Because in my experience, what I have discovered is the client has pretty much sized you up already.
Mhm.
Now I've been the victim of this. Oh my God, I can't call back myself. Like
Yeah.
that means I don't have an assistant. Oh my God,
Mhm.
it means no. That's not necessarily what that means, because you can have a virtual assistant or somebody working with you right in the office or whatever, or somebody in your family, like your wife or your husband, that helps you out with the business. And you know what? You can still call. It doesn't matter to the client as much as hearing back from someone, especially if it's you, very quickly. Uh, Here's my thing. I used to think that if I got on the phone too quickly, they would think I'm not a big time speaker or celebrity. Then I changed my attitude, and I start saying to myself, you know what? The sooner I get on the phone with them and they hear from me,
Right.
they hear what I have to deliver. They hear my
Right.
voice. They
Right.
hear my energy. They
Mhm.
hear what I'm going to bring to the table. The sooner they're going to think I am a big time speaker,
Mhm.
because I'm going to make you look good, and I want you to feel that way. And nobody can convey that like me. So if I
Right.
can get on the phone, I will. So please do not fall for the misconception that if I call back too fast, or if I'm the one doing the calling back, or if I'm the one responding, that makes me look like a small time speaker. You're not going to be able to finagle your way into looking like a celebrity speaker. People are
Mhm.
not stupid. Event planners know.
Right.
Okay, they already know.
Yeah, and I'm going to add on that too. This wasn't, in our original plan, but I want to add on to that. If you are a speaker working with a speakers bureau,
Yeah.
make sure that you respond to their inquiries right away as well. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you can think of that as similar to responding to the client right away. Because the worst thing in the world for a speakers bureau is to look bad because the speaker isn't getting back to you.
Killing
Um,
your brain, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So killing GBS brand or whatever bureau brand because the
Right.
speaker wants to take a week or two or however long to get back about a particular gig.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just that's something to
yeah,
keep in
you
mind as
can't do
well.
that. Be respectful of understand when we say client, the event planner is your client, but the bureau is a client of yours also. The bureau has
Hmm.
a lot of options other than just you.
Right,
Okay. So you need to respond quickly and be happy that out of the however many speakers were there that could have been chosen, that the bureau actually picked you, or the client chose
the
you for that
client.
particular event. Yeah.
Right, right. So let's move in and talking about the different types of lightning response.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And we've broken that down into two different categories, automated and manual.
All right. Yep.
So, for GBS, we've been using manual lightning response for, quite a while.
Right.
It's something I preach, and sometimes we slack on that because it's difficult. And we'll talk about some of the challenges, but it's something
Okay.
that you have to do nowadays. And the new thing that has been implemented for the last week has been our automated lightning response system as
Hmm.
well, right?
Yeah.
Which mainly happens through email. But I think it's important first. I will just, if you're a new speaker or even if you're a new speaker, it might be a little hard to do the entire automated system like I did. Like I said, I did 80
Yeah.
hours of coding. I did 80 hours of coding work to
Right.
kind of,
We ain't doing that.
yeah.
All of us not doing that, Lawrence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for those who don't know, I have a background in engineering and systems
Yes.
that type of thing. So that's how I'm able to do that for the system that we've built. But with automated, we used a lot of email messaging back and forth to kind of make that happen.
Right.
Um, and we're also building out speaker dashboard and organizational dashboards and easy instant messaging for them to communicate back and forth in the future. So that's what's coming, and also text messaging as well.
Hmm.
So being able to text a potential speaker the information about the event instead of even having to wait for email, since a lot of people are on their mobile phones now.
Yeah.
But we'll just stop that right there for the most part with the automated piece, unless there's something else you want to add.
Well, here's the thing. So if you want cutting edge, top of the line, uh, automated responses, and you're a celebrity who has another career, you're a professor who's teaching in the schools, or you're teaching at university, or you're an executive who's busy running a company, or you're a speaker who doesn't have a big budget, and you know what, you're out speaking, you know what you do, then that's why you need somebody like your great black speakers that to
Mhm.
automate the whole process for you. Now, that does not mean you have to have that, or that there's an excuse for you not to be able to get this done. I had lightning response from the very beginning. As
Mhm.
soon as I realized what was going on, okay, like I said, once that $10,000 gig happened, I started realizing I got to get on the phone faster. And if I can't get on the phone, what am I going to do about that? What if I'm up on the stage and I'm speaking? No problem. It's very easy to set up an automatic response to the form that they fill out. The email letter that you send out should have some very specific action steps, a few questions in there that will help the event planner take action and give you back information. And I think, and I'll give you a little secret here, one thing it should have in there is tell them when they can expect to hear from you. That's all your email needs to say. If it says, here are a few questions and you will hear from me within the next 8 hours, you hear from me within the next 24 hours, you hear from me within the next business day, or something along those lines, and then do what the email says you're going to do. That is a simple enough automated system that any speaker, whether you're getting started or whether you've been in the business for a long time, can do.
Right, most definitely. And in addition to that, let's talk about some of the manual things that a speaker to do.
Yeah,
and even now, we still have the manual process to where within 10 minutes, I want to talk to the person.
Right.
And let them know that we appreciate their business, and then also let them know that they can expect to be treated like VIPs when they're working with great Black speakers.
Yeah, and manual responses simply picking up the telephone. I don't advise manual emails every time. That's very tedious, and plus it's not a guaranteed way. You don't get the consistency. So if you have somebody working for you that can work, but for me, manual email, by the time I finished typing up a manual email, I could have picked up the phone and made the phone call. And you cannot remember that the person is trying to hire you as a speaker. Maybe they've seen a video of you. Hopefully they've seen a few clips of you, but there's nothing like getting on the phone with the actual speaker and you doing your thing. On the phone with the event planner, establishing that rapport and letting them feel your energy. Right.
And in addition to that, so my strategy is, when I call the first time, after I leave a voicemail, if they don't pick up, I will then immediately shoot them an email.
Right.
And, and I have templates already set up. So
yes, so do I.
Yeah, a good technological tool that you may want to check out is called, especially if you use some type of Gmail, it's called Mixmax. So MIXMAX.com. So that's Mixmax.com. It's so easy to set up a template for this type of communication. With the event organizer. So with a few clicks, I still have an email already written out to that person. So from the time that I start sending the email to the time that I finish is probably less than 60 seconds.
Wow. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's something simple anybody can take advantage of.
Yeah, anybody can take advantage of it.
You don't need 80 hours of coding for that.
Okay? Right. Just go to mixmax.com. And it'll definitely help you out to superpower your Gmail experience.
Okay, yeah, and I once again want to reiterate, and we're going to talk about it right now. There's really no excuses. No excuses. You may have some challenges that you come across, and a couple of them that we have. I think one we wrote down was solopreneur. So you're the one man or one woman show.
Right.
How can you do lightning response then?
I think because in essence, even though GBS has a small team, for a large part, I'm a solopreneur as well.
Yep.
So we have a small team around us that do different things. So we've been expanding a little bit. For the longest time, I was a solopreneur. And what helped me out more than anything, and now this is how my brain is wired too, but leveraging technology to the fullest extent. Is a way that I've been able to, even though we're a company, let's say of 6 or 7 people right now, it makes us look like we're a company of 20 or 30. And leveraging technology for solopreneurs is the way that you can do it. Now, people might say, what if I lack technical expertise, right? So that's another challenge.
I
challenge
don't
as
know how to
well.
do that. I'm not that computer thing. People still say
Yeah,
it all
well,
the time. I don't know about that computer thing.
yeah, so right, exactly, right. So for one reason, that's what we're here for with Great Pro Speakers is to
Right.
help guide you through those different types of things. But there are so many different tools and softwares and things like that out there now that are very consumer friendly that you can pay, $9 a month for, $14 a month for, or whatever it may be, that can do a lot of stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily need to be a tech whiz to use these different tools that are out there. For this, there are three tools that I think about that I use in terms of setting up everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mixmax,
Yep.
there's Wufoo for form collection and data collection.
Definitely. Yep.
They can also
Got
send
it.
out the initial automated email, letting the organizer know that you'll be getting back to them soon. And
Mm-hmm.
then for our customer relationship management, to make sure that you manage and follow up with people on a regular basis, there's something called Pipe Drive. So I prefer Pipe Drive. We'll
Okay.
probably do another episode on different CRMs
Yeah.
as well in the future, but I prefer Pipe Drive
Okay.
as my preferred CRM, mixed with Trello, for after the event. But we'll do
Yeah.
another a video on that in the future. So those are just some tools to kind of help you instant or lightning response, your a little bit better.
Yes. I'm always laughing. A few days ago, I was trying to tell somebody, you need to get your stuff automated more, man. I mean, you're
Mhm.
doing too much. And of course, the response is, I'm not going to call his name and put him on blast, but his response is, oh, I'm not technically savvy, this, that, and other. But he's standing there with his phone in his hands, the iPhone, latest one, got Facebook going, Instagram going, right?
Uh-huh.
He's got text messages coming in and he can check his email. And I'm sitting up here like, listen, man,
Yeah.
trust me, you can handle Facebook, Instagram, text messaging
Yeah.
and your emails, and you can go back and forth with all that. You can easily operate some of this and set up some of this new software to help you increase your response time and just take some of the load off your shoulder. For
Mhm.
example, even something as simple as Wufoo. Wufoo can send out the email for you. But what I love about Wufoo for me is, especially when I'm on the road, is that I get a text message
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
somebody filled out the form. So
Right.
I got a text message that shows me that somebody filled out that form, and I can pull it up right on my phone. Okay, I can go
Mhm.
right to email, pull up the thing, see it, see the meeting planner, or event planner's phone number. And if I'm sitting there in the airport, if I have time, anything's going on, and I want to give them a quick call, I can. And I'm very down to earth. I used to be a little bit more antsy about calling an event planner at the wrong time or in the wrong place. But if an email has gone out and I'm worried, it's a great gig, and I'm like, I got to get this gig, man. I
Mhm.
got to get this gig. But I'm about to get on a flight to LA. I'm going to be on a plane for 4 hours,
Mhm.
and I want to talk to the event planner. I go find me the quietest corner of the airport I can. I call the event planner. I say, listen, I just wanted to let you know I saw your email. You should have gotten an email back in response. And I'm going to, in less of a time right now for us to talk. I'm in the airport right now. There's a lot of background noise. I don't want to do that to you, but I just wanted to let you know you're a priority, and I want to see what we can do to make your event a success.
Right.
I don't play. I
Mhm.
call right away nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. So, most definitely, man.
Yeah,
So, I guess in summary,
yeah.
it's important.
It's
Lightning,
important, man.
yeah,
That's
get
it.
back to people quick. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Lightning response. Remember, speed
Right.
kills. Competition is fierce. So our philosophy is simply, we want to lock down the gig. We want to eliminate competition, lock down the gig, and lightning response time will help you do that.
Right. All right. So I think we're done for today's episode.
Yep. We'll see you all soon. I'm Al Duncan on behalf of Lawrence Watkins. Until the next great pro tip, be safe, be well, and be blessed.
All right. See you guys.